What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 67 of the Brahma Bullpen, coming to you from the cow pasture on behalf of United Football Media. And I got a producer in the studio again. Producer, was the free booze that good?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah?
It's very good.
So you're just going to keep coming back and drinking my stuff every...
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be back in the cow pasture.
Yeah. So anyways, welcome to episode 67. It's game week, producer. We're going to talk about games this weekend.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready. I can't wait. This has been a long time coming. I'm glad we're finally here.
Me and producer will be in Arlington for game one, so we will be up there. We're going to invade the baseball stadium known as Choctaw Stadium, where they turn it into a football stadium. And we're going to be up there along with, I heard that there's going to be at least 1,000 bullpen folks traveling from San Antonio. One group has 500 alone by themselves. So I say easy, they're going to be like 1,000 of us taking over that stadium.
Yeah. I hope we maybe we'll get louder than some of the Arlington folks. We'll see. That'd be nice.
Challenge to the Arlington folks. But
Yeah.
real quick, this episode, we're going to do a little bit of UFL breaking news. Tons of stuff going on, especially with coaching. We're going to break into that, give our opinion on that real quick. We're going to do roster updates. Since our last episode, they did cut down to the 50-man roster. So we'll show you the updated rosters. And there's also been breaking news on some of the positions, especially QB1. I know everyone's probably already seen it already, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Then we're going to do our depth chart prediction. That's right. We're going to talk about who we think is going to start for each position in game one. Of course, we don't have depth charts yet. They will come out Friday before the game. So we'll be able to get our hands on those, watch for it on social media, and watch for those depth charts. And then we're going to do ranking. We're going to make our prediction for the game. We're going to do a little bit different. So if you watch the bullpen last year, we brought stats to you after every game. We went to PFF stats. We brought that and kind of compared and broke down the roster. So we're going to do that again. We're going to look at stats from the week one game as we lead into week two and compare the teams in contrast based upon what we got going on. And as the season goes, those metrics will get better. What we're going to do this time is we're going to do something a little different because the teams have changed over. We got a completely different quarterback. We don't really know what Arlington defense is going to be like. There's like O-line issues going on up there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look back at our ranking season rankings. We ranked everything from stadium to coaches and a few different positions. We're going to go through those and just talk about what we think each one of the rankings were, kind of recap it, and then we'll give you our scores and game predictions for all four UFL games this weekend. You good with that, producer?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, he's ready to go. He's got no opening statements or nothing. He's just ready to go to work. So first things first, coaching news. This is a couple crazy little things happened. First of all, Ken Wisenhunt stepped away from the team. Now, you might think, what? Kickoffs in like 5 or 6 days? Why would he be leaving? Well, here's the actual statement put out by the Memphis Showboats. And it kind of leads me to think that he has something else going on non-football related. It basically says that the brief time he was there, he was very impressive and he definitely impacted the culture of the team. They were fortunate that he was there. But they do take pride of being a family-first league, and they respect Ken's decision to take a leave of absence for personal reasons. We don't even know what the personal reasons are. All we know is I don't think this was a move for a different coaching position, a move for money. I think there was something personal going on. And then the team did put on there, our UFL president CEO Ross Brandon said that if Wisenhunt was to come back and gets his whatever he's got going on in his personal life figured out, they'll welcome back with open arms. What do you think about that?
Well, I first and foremost wish the best for the Wisenhunt family. We don't know the circumstances, but we hope that Ken, along with the rest of his family, are safe and okay. We hope it's nothing serious. It is a little concerning that we have lost coaches. We'll get into that with this next graphic as well. I'll get more into that point in a second.
Yeah, so as reported by James Larson and then reposted here by our own group, United Football Media, it's not just Wisenhunt. You also have Reggie Barlow. But Reggie Barlow's leaving to take a job at Tennessee State University as a head coach. Tennessee State, that's where Eddie George, I believe, was a coach. And he took a different job now. So this job came open. But Producer, is a head coaching gig at Tennessee State University better than coaching the DC Defenders?
I wouldn't think so.
I mean,
I wouldn't think so. But
I don't know. I mean, I guess the paycheck's bigger. I guess the upside's bigger. I don't know what's going on with it, but there's a big difference between coaching college and coaching pros.
Yeah.
Now I know that both players are getting paid in different ways now, so it's almost more of a pro atmosphere in college, but not so much at a school like Tennessee State. Man, it's gonna heavy recruiting year round, NIL, teams poaching your players. I think it'd be a lot more work. It's definitely gonna be a lot more work than coaching the DC Defenders.
yeah, we don't know the exact thinking and motivation for his decision. I just think that, as I was trying to say a minute ago, there's only 8 teams in the UFL, so you're losing 2 head coaches in pretty much the final week leading up to the opening week of the season. That's 25% of your league.
That's crazy.
And that's concerning.
Yeah.
It's possible that it was just external factors that led to those decisions, not anything internal. I hope that's the case, but there is that concern there. Is it something
what would the internal thing be? What are you prancing around?
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things you could speculate about. I'm not implying anything by no means, but it could be concerns. It could be disagreements. It could be contracts. It could be concern for league stability, which I definitely hope.
Whoa! Where have you heard? Whoa!
No, I'm not. I'm just saying these are things that could cause coaches to make such decisions. I'm not implying that's it at all. In fact, I hope that's not it. But there are a number of different factors that could be league related. The league's handling of coaches. Who knows?
Everybody knows. Reggie chasing the bag. Wiz and Hunt's got personal stuff going on. Why are you still rambling about this?
I wish them both the best.
All right, very good.
I wish them both the best. It's a concerning situation.
All right, now what we're gonna do next. That's right. This is the Brahma Bullpen, and we are bringing you Brahma news. So, like we mentioned at the opening, the 50-man rosters, the worst day in spring football. Every year there's cut day. We don't like cut day. We don't even really talk about cut day. We feel sorry for all the players that didn't make the team. We wish we could take all 65 into the season, but obviously it is football and it's a business, and I know all the players understand all that. I know the coaches understand all that, and I know it's a hard decision. But we do have our 50-man roster. Sorry I couldn't get this a little bit clearer. I'm trying to get these graphics as clear as I can, but it is a full list of the teams. If you want to see a full list of the rosters, just go to the UFL's website. They're updated right now. They did a great job of updating them after the transaction list was put out. So if you want to go look at it in more depth, feel free to do so. We're going to bring up our depth chart later. You'll be able to pause it, and you can see where I think each and every player is going to be depth-wise, and we're going to go through and do our starters later. But any cuts that you saw, producer, that stood out to you when reviewing the players that were unfortunate didn't make the 50-man roster?
That's tough. A lot of great guys. I can't comment on anybody in particular. I just know that that's always a tough decision.
You can't, or you won't, or both.
There's nobody I can think of that in particular I have a specific comment on, but best for those guys. Or I wish the best for those guys. I hope at some point they make a return to professional football, but sorry that they got cut.
Any guys in particular you wish the best for?
Oh, you're just gonna hold my feet to the fire.
I'm just asking.
I do not have any particular names that I'm gonna mention.
Hey, well, if you guys want to see one of the players that got cut, go to Destroying's YouTube channel. Look up Project NFL. He's got 2 episodes on there. It looks like we're going to get an episode every week. Hopefully, it's pretty cool to get some behind-the-scenes stuff. But there's something going on with Godfrey the long snapper. You can kind of watch that for yourself. There's been some mixed emotions on that, on whether or not he should do that or whatever. I'm pretty sure he got permission to post that, not only from the league, but from the team, but from all the other players involved. So it's not like he's just like recorded someone without their permission and then posted all of you. I'm pretty sure everything's hunky-dory, and it's football and sports is reality. And what better reality TV could you get? It's like I got producers' permission to be on this channel, so even when I harass him, he has to understand that it's his fault he's on here anyway. So it's just it is what it is, right?
I have nobody to blame but myself.
That is true.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into some more roster talk, and something that I myself have literally been posting and hoping for since the XFL, since year one of the XFL, the Brahmas, when we were looking at who's our starting quarterback could be. I literally immediately started tweeting everybody that I could. Heinz Ward, putting it out there that this is the guy I wanted. This is the guy that dream scenario, Kellen Mond, QB1 for San Antonio Brahmas. Though y'all know, if y'all watch this show, we both have season tickets to Texas A&M. I was literally at every game this man played in Kyle Field. I'm super excited he's part of the Brahmas.
Wait a second. This is dream scenario? I thought it was Johnny Manziel.
Well, Johnny Manziel was dream scenario for the Commanders days.
Ah, okay.
That was a long time ago. You can see how producer really doesn't have
I'm just trying
concept of time.
I'm just trying to. Once upon a time, we had looked at that scenario.
Yeah, and the Cowboys could have drafted him too, but he wound up in Cleveland. But that's a whole nother thing. But realistically, before we get sidetracked, this is the man we've been hoping for down here in San Antonio. We're very happy to be here. Not only is he on the team, but it has been confirmed through Greg Luca that he has been named the starter, as well as Coach Phillips has done multiple interviews since this story came out and confirmed it as well. It's kind of neat when you kind of read why. If you look at the very first paragraph under the picture there, it says his consistency, he consistently set himself apart, and his running ability. If you remember back to the Quentin Dormady, Chase Garbers discussion from last year going into training camp, ultimately what gave Garbers the edge above Dormady, according to Wade Phillips at that time, was also his mobility. And you have to ask yourself what influence A.J. Smith has on that. But, that extra dimension of being able to run and escape the pocket when the plays breaks down is definitely a factor when they pick their quarterback. So remember that in the future, right?
Yeah, I'm really happy to see Mond join the team. Just watching him throughout his career at A&M, his ability, the things that he can do, his mobility to move, his accuracy improves. So what he can bring to the Brahmas, to the offense that we have, I'm really excited to see how we look this year. I think we're going to have a great offense.
Yeah, quote from Wade Phillips right here in this article, if you're looking at it. He earned it. He looked really good in almost every practice, and being able to scramble and run and running plays with the quarterback that give you the extra dimension. We all know Mond is from the San Antonio area. He played at Reagan High School before he went to the academy over there in Florida, before he was, I believe, a 5-star recruit for Texas A&M, and ultimately he was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. But we're happy he's here. We hope he has a great season, gets some game footage and makes it back to the NFL, or decides to make a starting quarterback for the Brahmas as one of his career choices. Hopefully this league will get there to where some players might hang around there. Who knows? But we just want the best for him, and obviously want the team to win. Coach did point out that Garrett Tarantano and Kevin Hogan also had potential in the Brahmas through the air. But Mond opened different dimensions for San Antonio, displayed his talent almost every day in practice, as well as in the joint session with Michigan. And so there you go, man.
Yeah.
QB1, Kellen Mond. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I got to talk to Kellen Mond a little bit this past Saturday, put a little post out there. I'll just kind of reiterate the post here. I asked him what the biggest difference was between playing in Jimbo's offense versus A.J. Smith's offense. And he essentially said Jimbo's offense had a lot more plays in it. It was a lot deeper. But A.J. Smith offense has less plays, but with a lot more options per play, meaning you're going to line up in this formation, and that receiver can literally run 4 or 5 routes. The running back could go whatever route he needs to go in. He could be checked to stay in a block. Tight ends can run all these different routes, all based upon how the defense is lined up. So this multiple offense that A.J. runs is just going to be that much more dynamic, not only with Kellen Mond, but also some of the receivers we're going to talk about when we go over our depth chart. Anything else you want to add before we get into some training camp talk?
Well, I'll say on that
or why don't you just repeat everything that I just said again?
I'll just repeat that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just add that in comparison, when you're looking at Jimbo versus AJ Smith, and the success they've had with offense. Of course, I think that as good as Mond was in A&M, I think that AJ has just been far more successful. So we can edit that out.
We're not editing nothing. I don't even know where you're going with this. But basically, you're just comparing the two offenses that I just compared?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on. You got something you want to add? You got something?
I think he'll do much better there. That's all.
And now we're going to do is we're going to share a little video. This is going to be a camp video. Stay tuned for the end and get a little trash talk. So evidently, Jonte Kirkland is going to be our trash talk champion this year. So check out this video. There's not going to be no sound in it. But wait till the end, you'll get to hear Kirkland doing a little trash talk. And he knows, maybe I'll talk while it's playing. But there's Hogan making a pass. Good defense by the Roughnecks. That's probably the only time you see that all year. No? Nothing? Look at Jashawn Corbin making a run right there. That's our number 3 running back, in case you're wondering. There's Mond doing a little head off. That's our bruiser, John Lovett, doing what John Lovett does. Look at this. Come on, baby. There you go.
Nice run.
Yeah. Looks very familiar to a play he would have ran in college.
Mm-hmm.
There's a boy destroying. Right down the middle. Ooh, secret handshake. There's Hogan running some reps. Mond in the backfield right there running reps. Look, old Party doing some work with those. What are those things called? Some kind of punching bags? There's got to be some technical name for those.
I'm sure.
Here we go.
I don't know, I'm about to snoop in on the DB. Damn, time to go. You tell, I'm a savage by the way I skip. What y'all talking about over here? Tell me what y'all talking about. Tell me what y'all talking about. Ain't my spot, I look good. Mac Truck!
Talking to Mac. That's his nickname, Mac Truck.
Kirk on one day. I can tell.
Celebration practice.
One time.
In game. We're going to see that in game.
Oh, yeah.
I see you, 5! I was open again, too. Uptown, downtown, uptown, downtown,
Nice.
I might hit that. Nah, I appreciate y'all for coming out to practice with me. It's your boy Kirk clocking.
I get a feeling that no matter how covered he is, he's always going to go back to the huddle until the QB is open.
Yeah.
Then we had a fan event down here in San Antonio. Got some footage from that. We're going to play that for you right here. A very well attended fan event down at the Pearl, which Pearl in San Antonio is an awesome place. It's got all these unique restaurants, unique foods. There's one place in there called Cured. All they do is serve like meats and cheeses and stuff that's cured instead of cooked. And then there's a steakhouse down in there that only serves local grown farm raised beef and vegetables. So if you ever get a chance to go down there, and then there's like 100 places to get a good drink, cocktail, whatever you want, craft beer, cocktail, just straight up whiskey, scotch, whatever you like. Great down there. So we had some good time down there this past weekend, had some beers, and we were treated to a Brahmas event.
Are we going to take down the Arlington Renegades next week? That's right, everyone. Let's give it up. Horn! 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 One more time, horn! Please welcome your general manager, Mark Lillibrand.
The best GM in the business. Built an MVP team.
Oh, yeah.
The bullpen zone. Best D lineman in the business. Third year playing for Coach Phillips in alternative football.
And he's no stranger to San Antonio, playing with the Commanders. Everyone, welcome back, San Antonio.
Super Bowl champion Greg Ward, buddy.
Today is a San Antonio native who began playing his career in football at Reagan High School. He went to A&M, where he was one of the 3 SEC quarterbacks, along with Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott, to record over 9,000 career passing yards. He was the 3rd round NFL draft pick, and now your QB1 for the San Antonio Brahmas. Everyone give it up for Kellen!
The part producer talked in where he was in the category with only 3. He's one of 3 quarterbacks to hit a certain over 6,000 passing yards and hit a certain number of rushing yards that I didn't get to hear. And he's in the category with Tim Tebow, Kellen Mond, and who was the other one?
I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. So did all the fans because you were talking in the middle of it.
Damn. What am I doing here?
Dadgum. I don't know why you're here. Just messing things up. And I'm drawing a brain fart. I don't remember who the other one, but it's Tim Tebow, Kellen Mond, and someone else, man. Sorry, I drew a blank. But, yeah, awesome fan event. Had a great time. You can see how many people were down there. Everyone's having a good time, fun, having a little drinky poo down there, having some good food and stuff. So, what'd you think about the fan event?
Oh, man. I try to make it. I try to make it.
What?
And you know that it ended. It was ending right as I was getting there. So you know what happened.
Look, folks, you remember last week I asked about the fan
happened.
event. I asked about the fan event last week. It was super
and
non-committal.
I was planning on going.
Super non-committal. Check this out, folks.
I knew I had a busy Saturday.
He went to the fan event, but drove off because he had to pay for parking.
No, it was over. It was over. It had already ended.
He drove off because he had to pay for parking. So you guys know what I'm working
with. It had
with.
nothing to do with that.
You gonna make me clip this? All right.
Just move on to the next
All right.
subject.
Parking.
No.
Anyways. All right. Well, enough fun, enough roster, enough news. We're excited about the season coming up. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to do our prediction on depth chart. So I'm going to go ahead and pop up our offensive predictions right now. And when I say our, I basically mean mine. So here we go. So we got our starting O-line. I got Tecklenburg, starting center. He was the guy who filled in for Alex Millett when Alex Millett was hurt last year. We got Monterio and Falega. They played guard and tackle for us last year just based upon who was hurt and who was in. So I definitely think they're going to be in this year. And then we got our big pickups, Tyler III and Henry. And I think they're going to put them out there at tackle. And I think Tyler's got the most NFL experience. So I think he's definitely going to be, left tackle is the most important other than the center. You want that left tackle to be one of your more athletic guys to watch the quarterback's back. So that's why I picked those guys as my 5 starting offensive linemen. Getting down into the skill players in the backfield, these were like some of the easier positions to predict. Kirkland's going to be in that starting lineup. Alizé Mack's going to be in that starting lineup. Anthony McFarland's going to be in that starting lineup. Of course, Kellen Mond's already been confirmed as QB1. You got Greg Ward Jr. and Marquez Stevenson. Greg Ward Jr., I definitely think is going to be in the starting lineup because I feel like he gives us that professionalism and a little bit taller wideout out there, and his route running is probably the best of the group. They're all good, but I just think Ward's got a little bit more experience at the pros. And then, so the hardest one to pick between was Stevenson and Justin Smith. I went back and forth. Let's be honest, we're going to have 4 wideouts on the field at all time, but, there's 11 starters, and, that's what I went with. I think you could have easily inserted Justin Smith into that lineup. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. If I was going to replace one here on this lineup as far as starting, I was going with Justin Smith. He did great last year, and I think he definitely he could easily start. He could easily be on there.
Yeah. I went with Stevenson basically because he was targeted more than Justin Smith last year, and he had more catches than Justin Smith last year. But Justin Smith is definitely a 1A or a 1B, right? Like he's right there. And when we get to our last depth chart prediction where we do special teams, we're gonna have some bonus picks in there. And I'll give you a little hint, a little preview. Justin Smith is definitely one of my bonus picks just because of the type of offense we run, and he's going to see the field. Anything else on offensive starter? Anybody stand out to you?
I'm grateful for McFarland being there. Can't wait to see Mond. I mean, all positions I'm excited about. I really love our offensive line. So overall, I'm Brahma's offense, good to go.
I meant to say this when we got started, just to make you even more nervous. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've been really messing with producer this episode. But it was confirmed to me by multiple players this past Saturday that they do watch our episodes and they do like our content. So I just want you to know that there's definitely players that will be starting for the Brahmas on the field that will see this episode. So no pressure. I'm just letting you know that it's a real thing. No comment? All right. Defensive starters. Here we go. All right. So we all know we run that hybrid 3-4 where you got 3 D linemen. Basically, you got 2 edge rushers, and sometimes an edge rusher might be in cover. Sometimes they might be rushing. You just don't ever really know. But, you got your 3 D linemen, you got your no tackles, your 2 D ends, and then your outside linebackers. Of course, the secondary, pretty much the same for every league. You got your cornerbacks, your safeties, and what we are listing on our team as the inside linebackers. Some people might call them middle linebackers. But basically, those are the 2 guys that are the run stoppers and can be in coverage based upon the offensive lineup. So here we go. We got our nose tackle, Prince Emili, been on the team, played tons of snaps last year. Of course, we got Savion Patton. Everybody knows how we feel about him. We've already talked about him once, but definitely going to be one of our starting DNs. Played tons of snaps last year. Had 3 sacks for the Brahmas. Definitely getting in that backfield, put some pressure on, and then Lawrence. I got Lawrence up in here. He's one of the new additions, but also one of the more talented additions. Debbie's going to think he's going to be on the field. Nelson out at outside linebacker. When I talked to Coach Acuff, we had him on the show a while back. Acuff loves Nelson and loves his motor. He goes 100 miles an hour. He plays outside linebacker, inside linebacker. He'll put his hand down in the dirt. He'll play special teams. He'll do whatever he wants to do. Guys just running whole time. And then, of course, we got Carpenter, who I think is just one of the more talented athletes we got on the team. We do not have Delonte Scott coming back. I think that Carpenter is this year's Delonte Scott. I think he's going to just be wreaking havoc, running around, running that jack position. What do you think about the front there, real quick?
You know more about him than I do. I give you that. Excited for all of them. I love Patton. I think he's such a great player. Of course, we have we really love him. But I'll say out of all the players listed here, one of the players I'm most excited for, I would say is safety Mosley. His effectiveness, and I know he caught interception, at least one. But I'm looking forward to seeing him on the field and his effectiveness.
Cool. Yeah, safeties play a big part in this defense. But we're going to focus on the 2. If I'm going to focus on the 6 in the back, definitely we're going to look at linebackers, Jordan Williams, Devontae Beckett. They were, I believe, 1 and 2 in tackles last year, or 1 and 3 in tackles. There might have been someone else in there, but they were definitely both in the top 3 in tackles last year in the league. They played over 400 and something snaps each. They're going to be in every snap. They're durable. They're fast. They can get sideline to sideline, and they make clean tackles. And they play tons of coverage too. So they're going to be covering that tight end or covering that running back out of the backfield. And they got that side-to-side speed to keep up with those guys no matter what their assignment is. You get into our safeties. Of course, Jordan Mosley was on the team last year, as producer just mentioned. Definitely one of those guys back there that we'll put a shoulder pad in somebody if he needs to. And then we got Henry Black. He's one of the new additions this year. Definitely talented, got tons of experience, been bouncing around for the last few years. So I think he's going to get that nod there at safety. And free safety, strong safety, just depends on what side of the field they're on. I think you could either change one of those. And then our cornerback. Of course, there'll be a lot of nickel. And when we get in there later, I'll show you who my nickel cornerback's going to be. So, there's going to be some interchanging, just like on offense, just depending on what the situation is in the play call. But Greedy Williams out of LSU, everybody knows Greedy's super talented, super fast, ran like a 4.2 or something like that coming out of college. And then Darius Phillips, PFF's #1 defensive back rated player from 2024. Darius Phillips, definitely Phillips Island out there in the cornerback position. So I think we got two great lockdown cornerbacks with two solid hitting safeties and two of the fastest sideline to sideline linebackers in the league. What do you think about that defense, producer?
I think they're going to be great. I have high expectations. Looking forward to the season. I don't know what else to add to that.
What are your expectations?
I think I'd have to go back and look at what our defense ranked as far as points per game. What
Number one, bro. Where have you been? We've been on 20,000 episodes of this, and we've mentioned the #1 ranked defense to you dozens, if not how many times. So you got to go back and look. #1 scoring defense. Wade Phillips has the #1 scoring defense every year he's coached.
What I'm saying is I think we'll do better this year. We'll surpass last year. That's all I'm saying.
You're gonna be surpassed #1. You're gonna be the 0 ranked defense, folks. I don't know what's going on in the bullpen today. Producer must have drinking some of that blueberry whiskey from over there, sneaking up on him. But anyways, let's get into our others. These are also pretty easy. Look, he wants to say something. This is pretty easy to predict here. Of course, Cameron Lyons, long snapper news. Watch that episode of the Destroying Channel called, NFL Bound. I think he's got 2 episodes out right now. You can see a little bit insight on why Cameron Lyons is there. He wasn't even there for media day. That's why he's in his New York Giants jersey there. So we don't even have him in a Brahmas jersey. Of course, Brad Wing and Della Hay, a.k.a. Destroying, definitely our 2 starting kicker and punter. Now we get into my bonus. These are guys that could start probably on every other team. We'll probably see significant action in our lineups, whether they start or they don't start, but they're going to be on the field. So John Lovett, league leading rushing last year, John Lovett. And it's pretty crazy to think about. He's not listed as our starter. He's listed as RB1A and 1B, so he'd be 1B behind McFarland. I really think what's going to happen is McFarland's going to be the guy from kickoff up until that 20-yard line, just depending on, play call and all that good stuff. I think Lovett's going to be that bruiser. I think you're going to see them both on the field at the same time every chance they get. You just got to get these guys the ball and feed them. Justin Smith, we already talked about him. He could easily be one of those 3 wide receivers we listed before, but he's going to be on the field because we're going to play some 4 wide all day long. And then I got UTSA's own Corey Mayfield in here. If you guys watched last year, well, I'll just tell you, I watched last year. As the year progressed, as we got further into the season, Mayfield's play just elevated. If he comes in at the level he finished last year, after that season and starts where he left off, I'm going to tell you, this guy was a ball hawk. He wasn't getting a lot of INTs, but he was always around the ball. He even got some interceptions. He picked up fumbles, returned them 80 yards, almost scored touchdowns. Like, he was just making plays, blocking punts. Like, this guy was just making plays last year for us. So he is going to be on the field, hands down, as much as they can get him on the field. And it's a great problem to have when you got Greedy Williams, Darius Phillips as our starting cornerbacks, and then you got Mayfield sitting right there, dude. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then Barry. I think Barry could get in there at that outside linebacker position, edge rush. I think he's going to come in and out as it needs to go. Maybe when any one of the other 4 linebackers we talked about need a little break, I think Barry's going to come in there and get a lot of game action and get some of that edge rush and stuff like that. So what do you think about our special teams and our bonus starters? We're going to call them bonus starters.
I agree with the bonus starters. A lot of these guys, Lovett, Smith, I love those guys. Glad to have them on the team, and I agree they could start for a lot of teams. As far as special teams go, I can't wait to see Destroying back out there. I'm looking forward to seeing him get some game action. I wish the best for him and as far as his career. So I want to see him do good and make it through the season.
Yeah, definitely want to see some some 45 to 50-yard field goals out of him. And if we want to see a lot of touchdowns, but man, we want to see some field goals. He got hurt last year, second game of the season, I believe. Never really got a chance. Or actually, he didn't get a chance to attempt a field goal because the first game, their Brahmas were like going forward.
Let's give that guy a chance. Let's see what he's got. Let's see him progress through the season.
Yeah, they went for fourth down so many times last year when they could have kicked a field goal. But it was also because the offense wasn't scoring a whole bunch of points, and our defense was doing all they could do. So coach made a decision to do what he had to do to keep our offense on the field and give us a chance. And it worked out. We made it to the championship game. So, we do look forward to seeing him on the field more this year. So, anything else to add on depth charts and roster?
No, not at this time.
So, what we're going to do, we'll wait for the actual depth chart to come out, and in next week's episode, we'll see how many players we were off. I picked the 22 starters plus special teams. Let's see how close I am on all that stuff. But we're going to get into a little bit of our game preview and stuff. One of the things I just want to pop up here is this is our pre-camp power ranking. So we're going to be updating this camp power ranking throughout the season. Every week we're going to vote on it as a media group, and you'll get to know what all of our content creators and how it kind of averages out. So I just want to pop this up and give you a little preview of it, reminder of it. So basically our group picked the Stallions 1, the Brahmas 2, and then you got the Panthers 3 and the Battlehawks 4. And there you go. The 4 playoff teams started 1 through 4. I personally think that Arlington is going to give the Battlehawks a run for their money. And I think with some of the news changing, I think the Showboats and DC are going to take a little step back. I think if I was voting today, I wouldn't have Houston ranked 8. What do you think?
No, I definitely agree. I put the Renegades much higher and move Houston up a little bit. I'd probably put, I'm not sure who would be 8. Probably the Showboats.
This guy says he's not sure what he would pick. You see what I'm working with here, folks? Anyways, so there's our power rankings. What we're going to do now, we just went through ranking season. We don't have any stats. We don't have any real hard stats. So much turnover in all the teams. So we don't want to start comparing PFF ratings and all that stuff from last year for this year. So what we decided to do is go back to our preseason rankings where we ranked all kinds of crazy stuff, starting with stadiums to coaches and everything. And we're just going to talk about them as we lead up to this game, and then we're going to end the episode with our picks for the week. All right. So first things first, we're gonna put up producers rankings so that I can nitpick them and just chew them all up. But first things first, we got stadiums. He ranked the Brahma Stadium 4, Arlington Stadium 5. And I'm going to just stop talking, and I'm going to let you go through your producer rankings and explain everything. Start with stadiums. But go quick. We don't want this to be a 2-hour episode.
No, I look, we did a whole episode on it. I think if you want to get real specific, go back and look at the episode. I think the Brahmas Alamodome's great. Great facility. I just say there's better facilities, a few that are better. Head coaches, I think we've got one of the best head coaches in the league. However, there's a coach that has won several championships, 3 of them in a row. Quarterbacks, our quarterback room, Mond elevates us. That's where I think we're at. Once again, we're dealing with a team that in a lot of these categories that has won 3 championships in a row. So it's hard to look at number 1 when we have not won that. But overall, I think we have a great team. Tight end was probably the weakest point, but that's not to say
Mac watches this show, bro.
But compared to other teams, there's lots of great players. That's just my opinion, but that's not to say it's weak. I think we have great tight ends. It's just in comparison to all the tight ends.
Brutal. All right, so
There you go.
average for the Brahmas 3.3, average for the Arlington 4.8. So we were going to go just off of producers ranking. The Brahmas would beat Arlington because they averaged higher, not only in players, but also in stadium, the little weird one.
You threw it in there.
Yeah, all right. Y'all go watch that stadium episode. Y'all hear about this guy's quirkiness with stadiums. All right, my rankings. All right, so I did 4 and 5. as well for the stadium. I want the Alamo Dome to get that upgrade. If you're watching in San Antonio, don't forget Project Marvel's coming up. Pay attention, folks. Anyways, head coaches, I went 2-4. Obviously, Skip Holtz is number one. He's won the championship. But if Wade Phillips, if we get a championship this year, I just got a little excited. If we get a championship this year, Phillips is going number one. Number one defense every year he's coached. When he coached in the XFL, and now with the UFL, number one defense every year. Number one.
I can't deny that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks, I went two, but I didn't put any other quarterback number. Luis Perez, goated spring football goat. I wish he had more. He does have one championship, XFL. So until to me, he's the goat of spring football. Linebacker duo. Look, I got our linebacker duo number one. There's no two better compared linebackers in this league compared to Williams and Beckett. You put those two guys, inside linebackers on our defense, they are the best. They are the fastest, and they're the best tacklers. I don't care what nobody says. I will talk to you in the parking lot if I have to about that. Receiving duo. This was actually done. Ranking was done before the Greg Ward signing. So, and I debated between Kirkland and Stevenson or Smith. I only wanted to rank 2 wide receivers instead of having like all 4 ranked in there. So I was doing 2 from every team. And teams like St. Louis with Pearson and what's that big tall guy's name?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
What did you call him? The Dream?
Akeem the Dream.
Yeah, no, Akeem's the basketball player. But
no. That was a
Akeem
reference.
Butler. His name's Akeem Butler.
Yeah, I
was
know,
waiting.
but I know that was the nickname that there was.
Anyways,
he was referred to as that. You got to give him. He's a good player.
yeah. So I got our tight end ranked 4th. That was also early on. I think that's a very respectable ranking, especially when you got tight ends like Sternberger. He's got 3 championships at the USFL, ranked number 1, obviously. So I got the Brahmas average at 2.8. I got the Arlington average at 4.1. So, second, third for the Brahmas. That's right where we should be. If the Stallions are going to be the 3-peat champs, they should obviously be number 1. Brahmas number 2. They're the XFL Conference champions from last year and we're in the championship game. So my rankings actually make sense, unlike somebody's. So, you ready to get into our picks and predictions?
I'm afraid to.
Yeah, well, can't wait to see what kind of logic you use to make these picks. So first things first, we'll start with my predictions since we started with producers' rankings. These are my predictions for the season. Of course, we'll do the Brahmas game last. That's clickbaitish, I know, if you're here, but we got to talk about all of these teams. It's week number 1. So I have St. Louis going to Houston. Check this upset out. I am taking Houston over St. Louis, even though St. Louis is favored by 6. And I will tell you, you can't always go, especially this early in the season, who's favored with Vegas and all these betting odd places, everything like that. We don't know who the quarterback for St. Louis is going to be. They got 2. What's the old saying? If you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. That's the saying. And I think Houston's defense is going to be so much more improved this year. I have faith. I will also tell you, Houston messes me up on this pick, and I lose taking them, I will not take them as an upset the rest of the season. Going into Michigan Panthers at Showboats. Look, I picked the Showboats to win before the news broke today. I would strongly reconsider that at this point. It's a 3-point game. It's very tight, but the news just broke, and I didn't feel like changing the graphic. Showboats are at home. The rest of the team has definitely improved. But this game is going to be a game to watch to see what that head coach change impact is going to be. It's going to be wild, man. And then last game, Birmingham at DC. The news of Reggie Bartle leaving was before I made this prediction. So it's a no-brainer to me. 7-point favorite. This is going to be the biggest blowout of the weekend. And Birmingham is going to stomp DC. Lock that in. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's move on to producers. You before we go on producers, you got any comment on my picks?
Yes, I will say something. I agree with. Well, first of all, I'm going to say Battlehawks are going to win. So you're wrong on that one. On the Showboats. Oh, you want to?
Oh yeah, lock it in right here.
All right. A beer in Arlington.
A beer. You drink 3 of my beers tonight.
I haven't drank any beer. I've been drinking all your whiskey.
Okay. All right, so loser buys the other one a beer in the stadium at the Brahmas Arlington game next Saturday because that game's on Friday.
Deal.
I'm taking Houston. You're taking the Battle Chickens.
Yeah, I'll take.
All right,
I'll take the Battle Chickens.
Lock it in right there.
Yeah.
Lock it in. All right.
All right. So St. Louis is going to win. I do think, and I predicted when we go to it, that Michigan will win. However, I will say that losing a head coach, a change like that.
Are we talking about your prediction? You're supposed to be criticizing my predictions. So any more criticism, or do I need to move on to the next graphic?
You want to move on? Go ahead and move on. Let's move on, and then I'll talk further about it.
Here's
Okay, there we go. So Battlehawks gonna win. Now with the Michigan game versus Memphis, my initial thought was
I was going Memphis every time. Memphis.
My initial thought is Michigan. However, sometimes losing a head coach, although it can be devastating, can also rally and galvanize a team. It can have a reverse effect. Sometimes they may want to play their hearts out, prove a new head coach, somebody that takes that position. If I had to take my bet, whether that would happen in DC or Memphis between the two scenarios, I'm going to go with Memphis, particularly under the fact that perhaps it happened under circumstances where Ken Wisenhunt, left for family circumstances, personal reasons, who knows. So if I had to switch any of the games that I picked, I would say that Memphis could play maybe above their level and rise to beat Michigan. But on my picks, I picked Michigan. And I agree, Birmingham over DC. I think DC is going to collapse. I think that's going to be an absolute slaughter.
A slaughter.
A slaughter. Oh,
right.
yeah.
Well, let's get into our Brahmas pick. To close out the episode, we're not only going to pick winner, we're going to actually pick score for Brahmas games and see how close we can get it. So, here we go. We got this Saturday, March 29th, 5 p.m. on Fox. I am taking the Brahmas to drop 30 points on Arlington, and Arlington to only score 17. I think they're going to score 17 because they definitely have a decent running back coming back in Vaughn. They definitely have Luis Perez, he's guaranteed to get you one touchdown all by himself, even if he was going up against an NFL defense, in my opinion. And I got the Brahmas dropping 30 because I talked to Kellen Mond in person, right? Okay? And I asked him, I said, and him and Greg Ward Jr., I asked both of them. I said, hey, have you run the play, the GTFO? Have you run the GTFO? And they told me that they have perfected the GTFO. Perfected the GTFO. Right. Our running game is not going to be stopped. So if you got the GTFO going and the running game going, mix it up with the best defense in the league, guaranteed dub.
I agree. Guaranteed dub. I 100% agree with that. This first game out of the gate for the Brahmas, new quarterback. So I am excited for them. I'm not as high on the points. I think they need a little bit of time to gel, but I do think that will happen.
You don't think 14 practices is enough? These guys are pros.
I'm gonna say Brahma score 20, and that amazing number one defense that we have, I'm gonna give them a touchdown less than you predicted. I'm gonna say that we only give Arlington 10 points.
Out of respect for Luis Perez, bro.
Man, I can't believe that you're gonna say that Arlington is going to score 17 on our defense.
Look,
can't believe that.
Dude, yes. Luis Perez is the GOAT.
Yes.
For now.
Yeah, for now. But I'm going to go with 10. That's my prediction. We double them up.
Good prediction. Either way, because Houston's going to beat the Battlehawks, I'll be drinking a beer this dude paid for in that stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, you'll be apologizing and buying me a beer.
Oh, apologize.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy that apologizes.
Never.
Anyways, that's it, folks. Episode 67. We talked long enough. We drunk enough whiskey. We're going to end it like we always end it, folks, with a nice horns forward. Let's go Brahmas, baby.